All right, it's the third weekend in March. Just a couple days is the first day of spring, and it has been unseasonably warm weather. We've had up in the 70s. It was about 75 yesterday, and all week, the past week basically, has been up 60s and 70s, which has been a lot of record highs and stuff. So the trees have definitely responded to the warm weather. They're ready for spring, so let's take a look. So we first have our pears here. You can see a little bit up there, the little things opening, our buds. So I think last week they were probably at this scale separation thing. Now they're at the really getting puffy, getting ready to pop open. And they're there and there. And just to remind you, with the pear, whenever they do that, that little blossom's going to pop open, and it's going to have 6 to 10 leaves, as well as 5 to 7 flowers, which could all potentially become pears. But that's what those little fat things are right there. And so they are all over now. Pretty much all of them are swelling like that. So like I said, they've responded wonderfully to the temperature increase, so they're definitely ready for spring. And our cherry tree, same way, so the shape looks pretty much the same. But we have finally got start to see some green. So for the most part, last week we saw a little bit of separation, and even then it's still not that noticeable, but you can just see a lot more. So if we look here, you can see the green showing out on all those. And so it probably won't be very long before they start to, maybe another week, to open more, and then probably blooming in a couple weeks on our cherries. We did a bunch of work this weekend. So basically we finally got the weed fabric down the rest of the way between the apple and the apricot. Got that finished off, which was very difficult because of all those bushes and trees and stuff. It was really difficult to get all those little holes and stuff, but finally weeded everything, put some nice compost down, put some weed fabric, and then some more mulch on there. So those should be fairly a lot lower maintenance than they were before. Just a few more spots to finish up. So back to our trees. Here's our apple. Hasn't looked a lot different. The apple is one of the latest to bloom, and so it's a much more subtle change on its blooms. Most of them are still at the, I believe it's silver tip stage, which is just the dormant. And there's just a few of them that are starting to show some activity here and here. I did see one, now I can't remember where it was. It was over here. Here we go. One that is showing up really good, starting to open up and blossom. That'll definitely be a fruit blossom. So I haven't seen a lot of those as of yet. It could just be that there aren't that many this year, or it could be that just a little bit more delayed. Like I said, the apple's the latest. Peach is probably looking a little different. I gave it the final touch pruning last night. They grow very vigorously, so this one was last year's growth, and it went up probably 3 feet. I cut it back to about a foot. I gave him a nice little haircut. And then we can see all the incredible bud activity we got here. So here's a good example. So right in the tip there, that little green part, that's going to be a leaf. Those other two little round ones are going to be flowers, which could be cherries, or peaches. Not cherries. So every single one of those little puff balls that you see will develop into a flower, or could develop into a flower, and could, if fertilized and all that, develop into a peach. So you can see that even with this tiny little branch right here, you could have a dozen peaches on this one, and half a dozen there, and half a dozen there. And so this is why peaches need to be thinned very aggressively, because they set way more fruit than they can ever hold, especially with this weak structure on this tree. So we'll do thinning much later, but right now we're focusing on where the buds are. And there's still a little bit of overlap as far as that goes with the pruning and stuff, but I just kind of left it for now. But I did basically trim back most of the ones from in there. So now you can see they have a little cut and they have a little bud and stuff. So excited about all that. So that is exciting. So this one is the just seeding in green. Nothing else yet. The next stage you'll be able to see a different color. But this is where we're at now. And then here is our other pear. It gets a lot more sun, so even more of the blooms opening up. So you can see there, once again, that fat thing, a bunch of leaf buds are in there, as well as flower buds as well. So we'll be looking a lot different, maybe even as short as a week for the pears. And then last and definitely not least is our apricot. Apricots are the first to bloom, and they completely blew through some stages last week. I didn't even really notice it until I was trying to figure out what that little thing up there was. I thought something got caught, like a piece of a plastic bag or something, but that is clusters, and you can see them little, well, it might be a little hard with the sun, but basically all those things up there, those are the clusters. And so if we go in, we can see them here. So basically what we had last week was not even any of this stuff. Maybe they were at this stage right here, but maybe not. And then we've got the, let's see if I can get better lighting here. So here's the one where you can see the white showing out, and then here's one where you can see it opening. So basically we've got the one that's just a little bit of white showing, more white, full open there. So it's blooming. So apricots are in bloom, which is always an unknown, or well, I guess whatever. It is what it is. Apricots bloom really early, and a lot of time our tree specifically doesn't get produce a lot of fruit because we get a frost while it's blooming and they all die. But we'll see how it does. But you can see there's lots of blooms up top, which is why, once again, we have to next year we'll get rid of all that stuff that's on top, because what's going to happen is those ones up there can be fertilized and become apricots. But apricots 18 feet up in the air on the little wispy thing that blows in the air, especially because that would be like a dozen apricots, is going to be very difficult and structurally unsound and hard to get to. So anyway, we've also noticed lots of amber stuff here, little blobs all over the place. Apricot tree is kind of known for being gummy and stuff, but hopefully it's just little things healing itself. You can see more of it here. But anyway, so the apricots have definitely, like I said, blown past a lot of bud stages. They were all looked about like that last week, and then, like I said, now they have showing a little bit of white and going all the way to more white and full open. You can also see here some leaf buds that are coming out. So those are the leaves. All these little things right here will just be blossoms, which could potentially be fruit. So there's those, and then you can see the little leaf buds right there, there, and there, and there. So that is what we got for the apricot. So a lot of stuff happening. It's definitely springtime. So pretty much everything, all the trees, because of the warm weather, have responded, and so will be a much different orchard next week, and every week from now on until all the leaves are out. So anyway, thanks again for watching. Happy to say spring's here. Thanks.